All right, we're going to do some volume questions. So we have this cylinder right here, 10 foot by 22 foot cylinder. So when we're looking at the volume of a cylinder, I'm just going to look at the height and the base information. So we have the volume of a cylinder in this case. When we're looking at it, a lot of times you'll look up the equations here and you'll see that in the equation it says that the volume is your base times height. Now that's great and that's fine, but that's not going to really help you with figuring out your information. So you need to look at what the base of the shape is. So in the case of a cylinder, the base is a shape of a circle. So you would find the area of a circle, and since the equation for the area of a circle is the pi times the radius times squared, radius squared, you then would find out what the area of that circle is first, and then because it is a right cylinder, it would be the same all the way through. So the height of it would be the same area stacked on top of itself over and over again until you got to the top of the height of this cylinder. So if we're looking at this particular problem right here, and we're trying to figure out what the information is, we need the two pieces of information that are required to find that information on this equation. So we have the 10 foot and the 22 feet, but however, the 22 feet is not going to be really very helpful in this case. So the height of it will start off with filling in, and that is 10 feet. So that's one piece of information we're given, and then the other piece of information that we are given is that we have the diameter on this. That's the full length that goes through the center all the way from one side to the other, going directly through the center of it, which is 22 feet. Now nowhere in this equation does that diameter show up. So we do have the radius. Now the radius is half of what the diameter is. So if the diameter is 22 feet, we would divide that by 2 and we would get our radius, which is 11 feet. Now that I have that, now I can plug that into this equation right here and go ahead and solve. So we're going to do the radius squared first, so 11 squared. Then we're going to have our height, and we're going to do this in the calculator a certain way here. Now everything's multiplied, so it doesn't really matter which order you put this in. So the height of this is 10 feet, and then we're going to do times the pi button on the calculator. So when we do this, I'm going to just show you on the calculator. This is just a basic calculator, scientific calculator, and what you're going to do is you're going to do the radius, which is 11, and you're going to square that. So when I'm looking at this particular calculator, we have this. So we're going to do the second power, and that is going to be 121, and you should know that, hopefully by heart, 11 times 11. So then we have 121, which is this part right here, times that by 10. Should be, again, pretty easy for us to do, 1,210. And then we're going to times that by the pi button. Now, again, depending upon the calculator you have, pi button might be one of these like higher up little pieces right here. I have an actual button for pi. So I'm going to hit that pi button and then hit equals, and then I get my answer, which in this case is 3,801.327111. So what I am going to do is, if I was looking at this, I would usually use the nearest hundredth. So I would go with 3,801.30, and then I'm going to take that 2, and I'm going to round it up because the 7 is going to round that number up to a 3. And we are talking about feet here, so this is going to be feet cubed. And that would be your finalized volume for this particular problem. If you want more questions like this, you can find them on my YouTube channel, You Want Algebra. Check them out under the volume section.